Hi everybody, it's Kayla from Kayla Crochet Love, and I just wanted to post a little video sharing with you guys my favorite and least favorite crochet hooks. I just want to mention I'm not affiliated with any of the companies I mentioned. These are just my personal preferences and yeah, just my opinions, so I just thought I'd share with you guys what I like to use. While I'm here, please don't forget to subscribe, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry at Kayla Crochet Love. As usual, that'll be linked down below. So I'm just going to turn my camera around and get started. Okay, so I have quite a few different kinds of crochet hooks. These aren't even all of them. I have some over here. I'm going to start with my least favorite, and a lot of these go in order with when I started to crochet and whatnot, so I will just go along with that. So the first ones I don't like to use. Now this one's not a really good example because it's a really small one. It's a 3mm. I bought this one at the dollar store, so it's not a great example, but it's just to say I don't like using plastic because of how flimsy they are. Like, I'm barely moving that and it's just flimsy. Now the thicker needles, or sorry, the thicker crochet hooks you get will probably, I'm gonna move some of these out of the way so you can see better. They will probably be thicker so they won't bend as much, but I still don't really like to use them. Because I'm afraid I'll break them when I'm working. I've tried working with this one before, and it's just really flimsy. I'm going to grab some yarn so I can show you examples. Just a second there. Just grab a little bit of scrap yarn that I have. Now this probably isn't the right yarn for this hook either, but and I can use them, but it doesn't feel comfortable. And it also, you can feel a seam in it. I don't think you can, well, you can kind of see it right there. And it doesn't slide nicely. Now, like I said, these are just from the dollar store. And I have gotten hooks, which I will show you after, that I purchased at the dollar store, and I actually really liked them, so I'll share that with you after. So I think I might have got these at Dollar Tree, but I just feel I'm really flimsy with these plastic hooks, and I think it's because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna break them. So that's one of my least favorites. I will put that to the side. I also bought this one from the dollar store a long time ago. I think it was when I first started getting into crocheting again. I believe those are just the US numbers, and I go based off of millimeters, so I'm not sure what that is. But that's okay, because I have the, I just kind of, if I do use this one, which I don't, I just hold it up against my other ones. This one is nice. The only thing with this one is it's double-ended. So there's a larger size here and a smaller size here. So I found when I used it, the opposite end would get caught. Now, depending how you hold it, so if I made sure I held it a certain way, I could block the end, the small end here. But other than that, it's not a bad hook. There's no seams or anything. It doesn't get caught. It slides pretty smoothly. Again, I'll just do up a little chain so you can see. So it slides pretty nice and smooth. So it's not bad. For someone who, like, I bought this when I was first getting back into crocheting. So for someone who's not sure what they like or not, if you're not sure if you're going to like crocheting, these aren't bad, because then it gives you two sizes and you can experiment with different sized yarns and whatnot. So it's not horrible. But I never use it. I actually forgot I had it until I pulled out all my hooks. Next, I only have a few of these, and these are Susan Bates hooks. Now the only reason I'm not crazy about Susan Bates is because they are an inline hook. So it's the way the hook goes in like that. I'm not crazy about them. So I prefer tapered hooks. I have more of those hooks than I thought. I found 2 more. So I prefer hooks that are tapered like this. So you can see a difference. So this one goes in more here, and this one doesn't go in as much. So it's just kind of, it gradually goes down, whereas this one's more like it goes in faster. Now like I said, honestly, all these hooks, I don't hate any of them. Just some of them I prefer to use more than others. So I think these were actually from one of the first sets I bought. I had bought a set of 5 or 6, and that was before I knew the difference between inline and tapered. And I can use them just fine. I just find I have a harder time hooking sometimes, so I have to pay more attention. But they do work okay. And I know a lot of people really like the Susan Bates inline hooks, and that's totally fine. I have nothing against them, it's just my personal preference. But yeah. So those are those, and I have, these are the ones I have. Now this one has duct tape. I have a hard time using just regular metal hooks because they hurt my hands. So I had actually taken duct tape and wrapped it around. It had more to make more of a handle on it. So these are all the inline hooks that I have. And I believe they are all Susan Bates, except for maybe this one. Oh no, that one's Susan Bates too. So there's those ones. I'm losing space here. My table's not too big. And then I'm going to, oh look at that, I found another Susan Bates hook. Another one. Oh, my camera's falling. Hang on a second there. Now I'm gonna go with these ones here. Sorry for all the ruckus, guys. I'm trying to take them out of my little case here, which I should have probably done before, but I think that's it. I have some others wrapped away. So these ones I really don't mind. These ones are actually, these 3 were hand-me-downs from a woman I used to look after. She passed away over a year ago, and these were hand-me-downs. I do have more in storage, and I don't use them very often. There's one that I have been using because it's a bigger hook, but again, it's just because there's no handle. And these ones are the Boye hooks, and these are actually pretty old. They don't show the millimeters at all, they just show the letter. I have no idea what the letters are really, so I usually look it up. Because I'm Canadian, right? So I just use the millimeters. It's just easier for me, again, personal preference. But it's not hard to find the hook sizes online. And these are tapered hooks as well. So if you compare the Boye to the Susan Bates, I was just seeing if I had the same size. I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll go with this. You can see the difference with these two. So this is the Bates, this is the Boye. See if I can focus it a little better. It's not a huge difference though. So I do like the Boye hooks. I don't use these very often though. These are more like a collector thing. I do really like to collect crochet hooks. So a lot of them I don't use, but I keep them because I like collecting them. And then these are also, I think this one's a Boye hook. The one thing I did with this one, so you can see I duct taped it again. So it makes a nice cushy handle. So if you're not sure if you're gonna like ones with handles, you can always duct tape it. I literally just bought some pretty duct tape with donuts and wrapped it a bunch of times. The only thing I did was I blocked off the size and the brand, but I'm pretty sure this is a Boye hook. And I really wish I hadn't done that because I don't know what size it is. But yeah, this is a Boye. And then my husband bought me for Christmas one of these. You can buy these at, I think, I'm not sure if Michael's has them. He bought me these at Lens Mills, and they're just a comfort grip for your metal hooks. This one is a Boye. This is a 5.5 millimeter, I believe, or 5 millimeter. And this was one of my absolute most favorite hooks. This purple one right here. This was one of my favorites for a long time until I got some of the sets I have now, which you will see in a few minutes. But I do like this handle. The only thing is it blocks the numbers, and it's kind of short because I like to crochet with my fingers up here more, which you can still do, it's just not as comfortable. So those are the Boye hooks. I'm trying to think of which ones I want to grab next. So these ones are from a kit that I purchased at Lens Mills when I wanted to try ergonomic handles. Now these were really quite cheap. I think I only spent $10, and the sizes ranged from I want to say a 2.5 all the way to a 6 millimeter. And yeah, they were only $10, so I bought them because they were cheap and I just wanted to try them. And they worked really good for me for a while. I was doing a lot of amigurumi, so this was my hook I used for amigurumi. And as you can see, it was starting to slide out as I was working, so I used to always have to push down as I was going. Because you can see that it looks longer than the others, and that's just because it's sliding out of the handle. Just gonna move that out of the way. Other than that, they were pretty good hooks. A little bit rougher, but I did like them, and it made me realize how much I like having the handle. You can see how flimsy it is at the bottom because the hook ends here, but so these are just a few of the sizes. I do still use some of these. Another thing I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, is you can see the rubbers kind of wearing away. And after using it for long periods of time, like when I used to make amigurumi, I would be working on it for a few hours. It would just wear away really quite easily, and I didn't even use this hook that often. And you can tell where my thumb had been sitting when I crochet because it wore away. But that being said, if you're, like I said, if you're not sure, I really encourage people to purchase hooks and try them out. Even if it's just one of a certain brand, it'll really help you figure out what you like and what you don't like, which is why I have so many hooks. And I still do that. Like, I'll try different kinds of ergonomic hooks or whatnot just to see what I like. Which I forgot one, but that I purchased not that long ago, but I'll just explain it to you guys. So those were part of my first ergonomic set, and they did me good for a while. These ones here I was gifted to by my aunt's friend, who I've known since I was a baby. And they are beautiful. I love the looks of these. They just look really pretty. And I've used them. I don't mind them, but the shape is really awkward for me to get used to. I feel like if you crocheted in a pencil grip, these would be amazing. My aunt that taught me to crochet tends to use the pencil grip more, and she loves these because I just feel like they sit better, but I hold mine like a knife. So they do sit okay, but they're a little bit long. I find them a little bit too long for my hands. And the other thing I noticed is the numbers tend to wear away. So this is a 5.5 millimeter, but you can barely see it unless you shine it in a certain light. But this was a whole set. I'm not sure how much he paid for them. I'm not sure of the brand. It didn't have a name on it. And I really don't mind them. I just don't use them very often. Just because they're a little uncomfortable for me. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. So yeah, but I really like the looks of them, so they're a really nice addition to my crochet hook collection. So they remind me a little bit, I think they're called Addy Swings, and I know a lot of people really like those hooks, so another option. And you can buy different looking ones than that. There's some you can get that are really, really pretty. Those, I think those are really pretty. Okay. This one here is one of the ones I bought from Dollar Tree. Probably about a year and a half ago. I haven't used this size very often. But they come in packs of 2 and they're $1.25. Dollar Tree in Canada is $1.25. And I actually really like these. They're just more comfortable for me, and they are hard plastic, the handles, but they're really comfortable, I found, to use. I had a 3.5 and a 4 and a 4.5 and a 5, and I used the 5 so much that it wore out the numbers, which was fine. And I actually gifted it to my boss when she was trying, when she first started learning how to crochet, because I told her to just play around with different hooks. And she actually uses it a lot. Even though the numbers are wore out and everything, she says she likes it, so that's really good. So if you're on a budget or something, go check your Dollar Tree. They may or may not. I'm not sure about the States, but I know in Canada they tend to carry thin yarn, no name, just the brand they carry, and they carry different kinds of crochet hooks and knitting needles. So go ahead and try them out. I mean, for $1.25 for 2, that's pretty darn good. Because I know at Walmart you can buy one for maybe $4. And they're not usually... Actually, there is ergonomic ones there. I've never used those ones, but I haven't heard great things about them. Actually, I think I have a Walmart one. So this is actually the kit I hold all my favorite hooks in. And I bought it at the dollar store. It's actually for makeup, but I just bought it at the dollar store. So these ones are ones that I bought at Walmart, and they are plastic. But being thicker, they're not quite as bendy. And I just bought these because I needed some really big hooks for some really big yarn. But I don't really like them. Just because you can see, kind of, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's like a seam. Yeah, you can kind of see the seam. Ooh, my camera's blurry. And I find that just makes it so it doesn't slide as smoothly. I don't use these very often. I keep them in my kit for when I need larger hooks. So, those are ones I don't use very often. Let's go with this one here. So this kit here is actually an interchangeable light up crochet hook set. So it looks like this. I bought this on Amazon a while ago. And I haven't used it much, but the thinner ones are plastic again, so they're pretty flimsy, but the thicker ones are nice to use. A little bit of a seam kind of thing on it, but it's not that bad. And they can slide pretty easily. They have, now this is a bad example, they have the numbers marked on the base, but I think some of them were printed incorrectly, and pain to get them out. So according to this, I have 2 4.5s. Now you can see a difference in the hook size here. So this, I believe, so this one is actually a 5.5. It was misprinted, but I figured that out pretty quickly. And they go in order, so they go from smallest to biggest up here. So I figured that out pretty quickly, which was okay, because I just need to make sure if the pattern calls for 4.5, I don't grab this one. So the size of these ones start, and it comes with this little tool. Now it's hard to get some of the stuff out of here, and well, you could take it out from the back too, I guess. It comes with a little wrench kind of thing, and that's to get it out. Now this size is a 2.5, and to put it in, you just line it up and you tighten it. I usually just turn it a little bit with my fingers and then tighten it more with the wrench thing here. And I do enjoy using this one. These are good for when you're working with dark yarn. So that's the brightest setting, and it also dims a little bit. So if I turn my light off, you might be able to see it more. So that's the dim, and that's the bright, or you can use it without any light. Like I said, I bought this off Amazon a while ago, and the thing with this one I like is it's rechargeable. You can get the kits that are separate, like they're not interchangeable, but they take batteries. I'm not sure how long they last. I've never used those ones. I just purchased this one because it seemed like a better deal. I think I spent about $20 for this whole kit, which I didn't think was too bad. Now that being said, I don't use this one very often either. I like to grab this particular one if I'm going away for a weekend or something and I want to bring my crochet with me. I like grabbing this kit because it's small. You have all the different sizes. You have 9 different sizes, and it zips up into a nice little pouch, and it came with the pouch. So I do like this. I like how it's light up, and the rechargeable is a big bonus. I'm not sure if you can buy these ones in stores or not. I haven't seen them around, but you can check online for them. So yeah, I don't mind that one. Okay. I don't know the name brand of this one either. I just went online and typed up light up crochet hooks. Now, my all-time favorite crochet hooks are, which I'm missing one because it's on a project right now, but it's the Clover, oh, there's a bit of a coffee stick on this one, the Clover Amour hooks. I am crazy about these hooks. I really like the metal ones, and once you get past the 6mm, they changed them to plastic, I guess so they'd be lighter. So these are the plastic ones that I have. And I don't mind the plastic ones. They still work great. They're very comfortable to use, and they're nice and they're pretty light. I don't really like plastic hooks, like I said, but they're really strong, so they're not bad to use either. But I don't tend to crochet anything with large hooks. I just finished a project using the 6.5mm, and then I bought the 8mm for if I'm working with blanket yarn. But these hooks are my all-time favorites. I ended up purchasing these a couple of years ago. I think I got them off Amazon. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And because I could not find them anywhere. You could buy individual ones at Lens Mills, but they ranged from about $12 to $15, some were $16 each. And I didn't want to spend that much on one hook. So I went online and I think I got the whole kit for about $80. That being said, my local yarn shop now carries them, and they're about the same price in her shop as they were online. But I love these. The one thing though with these is they are short, so they sit shorter in your hand. That doesn't bother me. I know it bothers some people. I've heard that they're a little too short, but that doesn't bother me at all. They're nice and comfy. They're a rubber grip, but they do not... the handle has held up really well. Like I said, I've had them for a couple years, and it just crochets so nicely. I'll show you a little example. The yarn I'm using is pretty soft, so it's a good yarn to work with. Sorry, I snorted. And yeah, I just really like these ones. I've also heard that the Tulip Etimo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, are really good. I was debating on getting those ones, but I ended up going with the Clovers. I think one thing I like about the Clovers is the different colors. So if a pattern calls for a certain size, I tend to think of the color first. So if it's 5.5, I think, oh, that's my green one. If it's the 6mm, I think, oh, that's my brown one. And it came with, from a size 2.25, so 2.25, 2.75, 3.25, 3.5, 3.75, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and a 6mm. But again, one thing I will say is I hardly ever use anything below a 4. I'm not one to crochet with thin yarn, but I like that I have the options of the other ones for if I do use thin yarn. But yeah, these are my all-time favorite hooks. I try not to bring them with me when I'm going away because I do not want to lose them. And that's why they're in this kit here. Oh, I put these in upside down. Very picky about how my hooks go in here. That's why I put them in here. So like I said, this is supposed to be for makeup, but I found it at the dollar store for $4. And I thought it would fit my hooks and my notions really well. So I have buttons and everything in here. So yeah, my all-time favorites, Clover Amour. I highly recommend them. But go ahead and try different hooks. If you're new to crochet, try different things. You won't learn until you try. Another one I purchased recently is a Chiaogoo hook. Now I tend to use Chiaogoo knitting needles, so I decided to give the crochet hook a try. I'm actually going to go and get it, just so you guys can see it. Okay, so this is the Chiaogoo hook I picked up. I was at the local yarn shop the one day and they were having yarn social. I didn't have anything with me, so I picked up a hook, and this was one of the cheaper ones there. I think I spent, it was either $5 or $8. I know that's quite a bit, but the name Chiaogoo is a really good name. I love the knitting needles. And I picked up some yarn that was there too. And the one thing about this hook that I like is how light it is. And I think this might be made with bamboo. I can't remember. I don't have the package anymore. But that part is so light, it feels like you're barely holding a hook. And it does glide really nicely too. The only thing I'm not crazy about is the shape of the handle. It's a little bit awkward to hold for me. And when I start crocheting with it, I have to kind of get used to holding it. I do use it though, just not very often. Again, this is one I'll bring with me if I'm going somewhere and I'm really worried I might lose my hook for some reason. I don't know, that's just something that goes through my head. But other than that, it's really pretty good. I'm a little fiddly with it when I first work with it because of the shape of the handle and because it's so light. One of my students had bought this to use in class, and I could not get over how light the hook was. And I was like, well, you know what, I'll buy one and I'll try it, and I do like it. I probably won't buy more because I really like my clovers, but it does work pretty good. I'm not sure where you can get these. I don't know if you can get them online. My local yarn store has them, and she carries a bunch of different sizes. And the thing with these is they come in really small sizes with the ergonomic handle, which I really like. So I'm not sure the smallest size, but yeah, pretty nice. I can't complain about this one, except for the handle's a little awkward, but even then you just kind of adapt and figure it out as you go. So yeah, that's all my hooks that I can find, at least at this moment. So I have quite a few. Let me, I'm gonna put them all up here so you guys can see them all. I didn't actually realize how many hooks I had until filming this. And then my clovers are up here, my kit here, and I have a couple really thin, small ones left in here. So yeah, there's my crochet hook collection, everybody. And I really encourage everyone to try different hooks. And if you can, I mean, you don't have to. If you like what you like, there's nothing wrong with that. I like to try new hooks, and then I can make recommendations, especially hooks that I've never seen before, like these. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys!